Hi, in this video we're going to do a few more queries, some that get a little more challenging. So we're going to create and then query design, and for this one we're going to add all three of the tables because we're going to look at folks that have visited the doctor's office and who have had a bill but had not paid the bill, and we're going to add some late fees. So we'll have to have a calculated field. So we're going to go with last name, first name. Again, I'm double clicking too fast here. Email, so we can email them and let them know we need the visit date and the invoice amount and whether or not that is paid. Okay, so we've got all the fields that we need. We'll run that just to take a peek at what it looks like. And we've got those visit dates and the invoice amounts, and we've got lots of those that are paid. So we need to narrow that down to just the ones that are not paid. And those checkbox fields are yes or no fields. So if we put a no criteria in here, we'll see that now we have all the ones that are not paid. And we don't need to see all those empty checkboxes. So this show line, we can check this here and click run. And then now we just have that invoice amount. We can also look at, and let's just run this right quick and sort these oldest to newest. So we've got some as far back as 2015, and we'll focus on those. Those that are in 2015 are the ones we want to add the late fee to. So we need to add some criteria here that says they have an invoice that's not been paid and it was before 1/1/2016. So now we have our 2015 visits and their amounts. Now we can go in and add the calculated field for the late fee. So I'll put my cursor here in this blank cell in the grid and go up and click on the builder tool in our ribbon. And now I'm going to navigate to that table so that I can add the invoice amount to my calculation. So I build my expression up here, and then we're simply just going to add a 10% late fee, so times 0.1. Click OK. And I'm going to run that to see what happened, and you'll see that we've got the 10% here, but we need to change this to say late fee, and we want to change this to look like currency, much like this column here. So we'll go back, and we're going to click on the property sheet. And the format is where we're going to change that to look like currency. And then the caption is where we can type late fee and make that appear as we desire on the query results. We can also, in the query results here, add some totals to this screen so that we can see how much we have outstanding that has from the previous year. So we can see that we have 11 invoices for a total of $1,309, and then there's the total amount of the late fee. Another kind of mathematical query that sometimes comes in handy is we're going to add all of these tables again, and sometimes we just want to know, and we'll just run this real quickly with one field. Sometimes we want to know if our what our average bill amount is. And so if you click totals, we add a new row here, and this total line shows up, and we can just change this to average. And when we run that, we get an average amount of the invoices in the database. But it's more helpful even when we have more statistics associated with that. So we can do a count, and then we'll do a minimum and an average and a max. And when we run that, we get even more information about our data. We might want to look at if we have customers that walk in versus make appointments. I'm going to drag that to here. And so this time I'm going to leave that total as a group by. And when I run that, now I can see this is the stats on the walk-in customers. Here's the stats on those who make appointments. Or if instead we want to see where those folks are from, we might look at city and drop it here. And we can have city and walk-in. So Bloomfield walk-in versus appointment. And so it just categorizes this in any way that I want to. I could also take out walk-in and just see the statistics by city. So we've got a lot of flexibility with how we want to calculate those. Similar to the way we change the late fee, we can change this to say anything we want so that it's not this long created title. So we can just over here in properties say count instead of count of invoice amount, and run that and make that look how we want. One other kind of query that comes in handy is on this late fee. We're going to edit this one, and so instead of visit dates before 1/1/2016, we're going to say before, and then add a square bracket and say enter date. And when we run that criteria, we're going to get this box, and we can do 1/1/2016. And we end up with the same results as we had, but instead of that query always being 1/1/2016, so we might say 6/1/2016, and we'll get different results this time. So we have the opportunity to enter what we want that date to be. I'm going to go back to the design grid and we'll look at this one more time. So I still have the less than sign, but then instead of typing the date, I put what I want that pop-up box to say inside square brackets, and then it will take whatever I type in this box and use that for this criteria.